Hello and welcome to Swingin Report Show number 35. With me, Barry, is George
Hello.
and Andrew Rosa.
Hello.
You're not supposed to give his full name away on the internet now. They're gonna
Doesn't he
look
put
him
it on
up.
his? Don't you put it on your credits?
Yeah, I just use A.J. Rosa because I don't know, I just don't like my full name anymore. An ex-girlfriend ruined it for me because she kept adding a syllable. Oh.
Well, I didn't add any syllables, so I think we're safe.
No, you didn't, but it always sparks a flashback, like I survived Denang or something like that.
Notice how Barry said I didn't add the extra syllable, but he did. He never said he wasn't your ex-girlfriend.
That's right.
Not yet.
Not yet. It's always open possibilities.
Well, we'll see where this goes tonight. So, as usual, let's go around and say what we've been up to and what we've been playing. And I guess you could also say what you did to celebrate 4th of July, because we're all God-fearing Americans here tonight. No pussy Europeans joining our show. So, George, why don't you tell us what you've been up to and everything?
No, I went out of town and we celebrated it with one of our friends. So we just drank, ate meat, did American stuff.
Nice.
So it was nothing special, but it was pretty fun, I guess. I mean, everything's fun when you're drunk, even if it is eating meat outside with a bunch of flies.
That's true. Were your friends the flies?
Yes, the flies are my friends, and when we ate steak.
Sounds nice. Did you play any Los Videojuegos?
Not that day. I haven't played in a few days, but I've been playing Fantasy Star Online 2. You probably have
Oh,
heard of it.
cool. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's pretty good. I haven't played it since they launched on July 4th. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
Sega Japan's like, oh, America's birthday. Let's launch Fantasy Star Online 2 in Japan only.
That's a
Right.
tremendous present.
And yeah, but I've been playing the beta, and it's pretty fun actually. The controls are actually really really good. It reminds me of playing Bayonetta, not in the sense that it plays exactly like Bayonetta, but it's actually smooth, like responsive.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Nice. AJ, what have you been up to? What have you been playing?
Well, as far as what I've been playing, I'm replaying L.A. Noir because I'm shooting a movie come August, so I'm trying to get back into the mode, and that kind of helps for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Huh.
Because I can't really afford to buy new games these days, so I just kind of replay all my old shit. And I needed a break from Sega because I decided to finally do a Dreamcast review.
Uh-huh.
And the game was horrible. Just
What
righteously
was
horrible.
it?
Um,
Is
Evil
it a
Dead.
secret?
Evil Dead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is awful.
Yeah, it's a horrendous fucking game, and I just wanted to punch myself in the nuts. Really, didn't play that game, so I needed something to kind of cleanse it. And tried getting some footage captured for Resident Evil Veronica because with Resident Evil 6 around the corner, I want to put out my classic episode for Biohazard, then do Code Veronica for a new
Okay.
episode. And also now I'll be playing Nights again because we're getting that HD release.
That's right.
And as far as 4th of July, I just drank myself silly, felt sorry about myself, and worked on my Virtual Racing review, which will be the week after next. So,
Okay.
yes, but that's pretty much all I've been up to. Back to you, Barry.
All right. Thank you. And moving. No, actually, what have I been up to? I did pretty much what George did. I drank and ate meat, and I watched a lot of movies. I watched Batman 1989 one.
I saw that on your Twitter.
That was a fun time. And then for whatever reason, watching that made me want to watch Dick Tracy next. And and it's funny to watch those two because I forgot that they came out a year after one another, and so Dick Tracy tried to copy Batman in a lot of things like marketing.
Really?
Um, yeah, I mean, you take a look at the both of them. They both had major video games behind them. They both had fast
Great
food
Sega games.
promotions. What was that?
Great Sega games.
Yeah, both of them are. And what else is the villains fall to their deaths? Both of them had pop icons behind them. One had Madonna and one had Prince doing the music.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's what I did. It was a good time had by all.
But Batman wins because Prince is better than Madonna.
Yeah, I liked
Oh,
between the two. I liked.
but
Uh, I'd give it a tie because Batman or Dick Tracy has so many villains in it. It's pretty great.
that is something Dick Tracy, I feel, handled pretty well, having so many villains, yet still told a very focused story, something that some of the Batman movies could have been taken some notes on.
Well,
But
yeah, I noticed with Batman, like Joker had all these minions, but they were just dudes in leather jackets and sunglasses. Whereas in Dick Tracy, every single henchman was one of the comic strip villains, so you could like pick them out when you were watching the fight scenes. That was a lot of fun. Like I remember at the end of Batman, all these ninjas came out of nowhere, and
yeah, the big strong man. Exactly.
yeah, well, my favorite ninja was the one who leaped and then he just fell through the floor and died. He never even fought Batman. That was pretty
That was
good.
awesome.
He was just like ah, and then Batman turns around, and he just smashes through the floor. So that was yeah. Between the two, I'd give it a tie.
Yeah, I'd say
So
that's fair. I mean, really, for the day, like I think back then, Prince and Madonna were pretty fair because they both offered something a little different, and I think they did it very well. Sure,
mhm.
nowadays it's a different story, perhaps, but
Yeah,
then, I mean, they were both solid films, and really, I think Dick Tracy really followed the comic strip fairly well. I'm still not a big fan of Warren Beatty. I mean, he's a good actor, but
yeah,
I feel like Mandy Patinkin would have been a much better choice for Dick Tracy
yeah,
because he looks just like him, and it kills me because he's in the movie.
yeah.
So
Isn't that funny?
yeah, but yeah, good movies though. Good movies. You should have followed it up by playing the Genesis games.
I actually thought about that, and I might do that tomorrow, especially Dick Tracy, because I love that one. Isn't it developed by the guys who did Shinobi? I'm probably wrong, but
Actually, I think you're right there because something that some fans may not know is that like I've noticed with a lot of gamers, the only game based on Dick Tracy that they really remember is the one that AVGN covered,
mhm.
which was vastly different from the Genesis and Master System versions, where those versions are actually shoot 'em ups for the most part, side scrolling shooters.
Right.
And it does have a strong Shinobi feel, so I wouldn't be surprised if you're right on that.
Because like you can when you're close you can do close proximity attacks and then the bullets are kind of like throwing the little throwing stars and then it
Right,
has the added kind of depth to it that kind of reminded me of the Shinobi shooting gallery sequences. You
right.
know what I mean? But it was like within the game itself. So you and I love that because it's like it's half playing like a like gallery shooter and half playing a side-scrolling beat 'em up. It's pretty cool.
Not to mention the interactivity you have because you can not only shoot the bad guys within the background, but you can shoot out windows and
Hmm.
uh, cars and fire hydrants and water will shoot out. It had a lot of interactivity, and I think graphically, it's considering that came out fairly early in the Genesis lifespan, it's a beautiful game. It's very well
Hmm.
done.
Yeah, I think it's funny. People for well, we'll get on the show too, but I just wanted to say people forget too that Sega developed a lot of uh, titles that I think they think were like farmed out to places like THQ or shitty developers like that, but they're not. Like a lot of the early Disney ones were from Sega internal dev teams, and Ghostbusters was, and Dick Tracy, and it's kind of a shame because I go to the Wikipedia pages and they bunch them all together as one game. They're like Ghostbusters. It was on NES and Genesis. I'm like, oh no, they're completely different games. But I'm
Right.
too lazy to edit Wikipedia myself, so I just get mad at people.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's true. It's kind of hard to edit Wikipedia though. You got to memorize all this like weird shit, and then you have
Hmm.
to approve it, and then there's always some asshole that's like, you didn't put enough proof.
Or they say it's not worthy of its own entry. I'm like, it's Wikipedia. It's supposed to be an encyclopedia about everything, and yet you won't let me have a separate entry for Dick Tracy. Meanwhile, like some dignitary from another country that I don't care about gets his own page. Ugh.
but that's the thing, though. I mean, at least with like Ghostbusters, like the SMS game was very similar to the Nintendo version as well as the Atari version, but the Genesis one was a completely different experience.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love
that's
that game. It's my favorite one. One of my favorite Genesis games.
it's still my favorite Ghostbusters game. I mean, I like the new one, but really the Genesis one has more replay value for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love that they got the actors and everything like that involved. It's got a great story, and yeah, fantastic. But really, when I want to just pick up and play a game and get that Ghostbusters like fix, I go to the Genesis version.
Only problem is there's no Ernie Hudson in it. That's a shame.
That is a shame. That is a shame. I will admit that, but I don't know what happened with that. It is kind of funny that he was left out of so many games.
Well, he joined at one point later in the movie, so I guess you can assume that this took place before he joined, even though Marshmallow Man's in the end of the game.
Well,
Whoops. Oh well.
that too, and also I
Plot
think
spoiler.
Yeah.
well, I think what happened too was that Ernie Hudson was a later development. Like, I don't think he was originally supposed to be a part of the movie, and it was kind of like, hey, you know what? We need something more here, and this character. So it's like, yeah, we have three guys. You know, it would be so much better with four, and if we had like a new character to introduce to kind of keep the narrative rolling.
Yeah. Right.
And also someone to act as a member of the audience where it's like, wait, what the fuck did you just say?
That's very true.
But all right, I'll stop going off on tangents now. I
That's
apologize.
all right. Well, let's move on to Sega news, unless George has anything to add.
Um, no, we should move on.
All right. Going on to Sega news. This is a little tidbit. All Stars iOS. That's the iTunes iOS version of Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing. Updated, adding Ooh La La and 3 new tracks. I guess since I'm the one with the iPhone, I'll talk about this. Basically, what they've been doing, it seems, is they've been adding a lot of new content, but because they have the option to buy Sega Miles, I think they're starting to treat the game more as a like pay to play kind of thing, where it's free, but if you want to play it and unlock them, you can. But if you just want to drop like $5, you can unlock Ooh La La and these tracks. So
I
I mean,
wonder how many lazy people that have iPads are like, nah, I'd rather not play the game. I'd rather just pay real money to get these characters.
I've considered it for the Ooh La La one. I've
Don't
considered
be
dropping
lazy, dude.
99
No,
cents. I
you can't.
know.
You
They're
can't.
so expensive, though. I know I can't be lazy.
You can't, because
But
then Sega's going to be thinking it's okay to do this with every game.
that's true. But it's cool though because I mean I thought they were done, adding anything to the game since they added what did they add? They had like Knuckles or something about 6 months ago. So if they keep this up, they could eventually have the entire cast because I think right now they have 13 of the 20 something racers from the console version. So
Is Big the Cat in the game?
he is not. No,
I don't
Big
want to.
Cat
I'm never gonna buy an iPad, an Apple product ever.
ever. Well, Big's not in it. Bonanza Brothers is in Opa Opa. Some of the more obscure ones. Rio is in it, so that's good. Uh, and they added Ooh La La. So overall, it's good news. Good news. Moving on to Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed, the sequel. Some new info came out. It's coming to iOS and Android, as well as Vita, 3DS, Wii U, and those last three versions will have unique features, and DLC is confirmed. George has a lot to say about this, right?
Actually, not really. No, I do. I'm hoping that the Android and iOS isn't like. I mean, I assume that when it comes to Android and iOS, that they're gonna stop supporting the last app.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you won't get the whole cast on the other
Yeah, you
one.
never know. Yeah.
And then there's a um DLC. I hope they price it accordingly. Like the last the last game, the DLC was like $7 for a track and a racer or something.
Yeah,
That was ridiculous. Nobody's gonna pay that much money.
I did.
Yeah, fall.
Well, it
Oops.
depends.
Besides Barry,
Yeah.
who's
Someone
rich.
willing.
But yeah, I'm not really impressed with the DLC last time, so I'm hoping they have better DLC.
Yeah, I mean they've been kind of dropping the ball on DLC, especially with the Sonic games. Like Generations didn't have any. It did, but it was not
Good.
true DLC. It was more like pre-order incentives, but there wasn't like additional levels later on.
That's the
But
problem. Sega's talking about going more digital, but they don't even do DLC. It's like, which is kind of weird because usually I complain about DLC from companies,
Hmm.
but when it's a game like Sonic and All Stars Racing Transform, when it's like they have so much potential to put characters that they probably wouldn't make it to the full game when they was first announced.
Hmm.
Like that the community would actually pay money for as DLC.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a waste.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, they've been a little weird recently with the roster number because they're saying more than what they were saying before. And then they're like, well, you'll just have to wait and see. So I don't know if they're going to do like skins for characters or something weird. I don't know what they've got planned. But apparently they're going to reveal a new racer or track at Summer of Sonic on this weekend. So
Summer of Sonic is this weekend.
I think so. It's on the 7th.
Oh, that sounds cool, I guess. Hopefully they do more musicals.
Yeah, right?
I think actually there was a Facebook message that the guy that runs it, I think we had him one time,
Hmm.
AAUK or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
He was saying that like I guess a lot of people he wasn't appreciative of how the negativity it got,
Oh, really?
which I have to agree though. It's like that's pretty a lot of people made a big deal about that. Like Summer of Sonic coverage was like 95% about how bad that performance was.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to get into this because I might get in trouble later.
That's fine. Let's move on to Project X Zone. They say it's going to include over 200 characters. Of course, uh, that sounds great and all, but it's a sprite-based game, and you're not going to be able to play as them. So they're probably just going to be, motionless in the background. But it's still cool,
It's
Oh,
still
I
cool that
guess.
they're gonna actually pick 200 names out of a hat,
Yeah,
but in the game.
what the
no.
hell is Project X Zone? I'm a little lost there.
it's good
Um.
you ask. George knows.
Um. It's basically a Namco, uh, Capcom and Sega 3DS game where it's like they kind of like cross over all the franchises and they make like an RPG, like a strategy RPG where you could pick like two characters and then go out and like I guess fight stuff. I don't really understand the story. They haven't even talked about the story, I don't think.
Mhm.
But you go around leveling and killing things and apparently there's going to be like full like worlds like made of franchises like bad guys and stuff from
Oh,
different franchises in Sega and Namco and Capcom.
Yeah, so
But
you can. Oh, go on.
oh yeah, I was gonna say, but no Sonic the Hedgehog, which is actually kind of refreshing in my opinion because he's in every crossover ever.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I
that's
was
because
seeing some cool
he's the main
stuff like
man.
they had. Ugh,
That's because he's the main man. That's why
he is the
Sonic's.
main man.
Yeah, but it's good to see like virtual fighter characters and like uh other characters get kind of like spotlights.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they had the Resident Evil characters at the House of the Dead mansion in one of the screens. So that's pretty cool that they're even doing crossovers with like locations that would make sense for other franchises. So it's probably going to be like Sega Gaga though, and never release over here, and it'll
Yeah,
be impossible to play.
yeah.
So
Don't be such a
we shall
pessimist.
see. I
Have
know.
hope, sir.
I have
Hope.
no hope. No hope.
Well, you're a
Uh,
Sega.
I know. No, I have plenty of hope. Speaking of hope, I hope that in this next piece of news it comes true. Jet Set Radio HD might have Jet Set Radio Future music, at least according to achievements, which show the logo for Jet Set Radio Future. Um, that would be cool, considering they were kind of fearing that they were going to lose songs, and then they didn't. So, if anything, adding songs would be a plus. Uh, that's good.
Yeah, I would like that. That'd be pretty cool, and especially since both soundtracks kind of like mashed together. Like, even though Future was like they tried to like change the coloring up and like the style and how big the levels were,
Yeah.
the music was still really constant
Yeah, right.
throughout the game. It just felt like you just picked up basically like a new like remix album of you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. The only real big change they did was they added, remember the Latch Brothers?
Yeah,
Yeah, and they were like some kooky electronic group. I mean, I like their music in the game. I wouldn't like buy their album at the store, but that was the only real difference. But everything else was all the all the Sega internal music was basically remixes. So I'd like to see remixes of all the songs. That would be cool. I don't know how they do it, but maybe you like select if you want to listen to it. I don't know.
That'd be pretty cool. Music selection.
Do you want to talk about the next one? It's kind of depressing.
Yes, I do want to talk about the next one.
This is actually the main reason we were probably going to do the show before the night's news. It's Sega closing European and Australian offices. OMG.
Well, I mean, if they can't make money, you gotta start cutting.
Hmm.
I'm a businessman first,
That's true.
and an artist second,
Right, right.
or maybe like third. But
Well, yeah,
no, I think it's a kind of a bad move, but in the end, it's like I think it's only going to be so they're gonna have companies put out their games, I guess,
yeah,
since I guess it's cheaper for another company to do it instead of them doing it.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Which
I mean,
is not that bad. I mean, it could have been worse. They could have closed down their London office, which is not what happened yet.
no, I mean what they closed down were satellite offices with each one had a small number of employees who basically handled the marketing and promotion for games within their countries. So it's not like they closed down any development studios.
Yeah.
And I mean it. I mean I could completely understand like if there was a Sega East Coast and they closed, I would be really sad, But you got to think too, like given technology today, you don't really need all of those extra offices. You just need to hire a few people who can speak the languages and send out the promotional materials over, the internet or just mail it to them express. I mean, it's not, it's one of those. I think they were keeping them around, but I don't think they needed them so much.
Not to be negative either, it's not like they did like well of a job putting names out there of games. It's like
No, that's true.
since this whole like it might be because of what's happening. That's like everything's a little crazy
Yeah,
when it comes to release dates.
yeah,
But like, I mean, ask anybody. It's like Anarchy Reigns. When is it coming out? And I bet a lot of people would be like, I thought it already came out last month.
yeah. Right,
Or like Rhythm Thief was supposed to come out a month ago. You know what I mean?
right,
So
right.
it's kind of confusing. It's like Sega isn't even making it easier. They don't like tweet like a release date. Like this is coming out around this time, so you guys can know. Like the
No.
only reason we found out about Anarchy Reigns was because they tweeted somebody else,
Hmm.
and the guys in Platinum Games never even knew that. They're like, well,
Right.
that's news to us. So it's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's good that they're going to have Sega West of the Europe. They'll have Sega West, and then split from that is Sega America and Sega Europe, and it'll only be two offices, and then Sega Japan. So they'll just have their three offices going. And from what I've heard, at least, or from what I've read, is that a lot of employees aren't losing their jobs so much as they're just shifting to work for these other companies that will be handling the uh, Sega releases. So, I mean, some people are losing their jobs, so that's a shame. And also, I think a lot of people are losing their kind of like, it feels good to have your Sega Spain office or something like that, or Sega France as a, Sega fan living in France. So I can see why people are upset because of that. But
Odd. There's a Sega Mexico. Like they announced
yeah,
a couple years ago, I think.
yeah, there is. Is it still around?
I have them on Twitter, I think, and I think they still tweet, so I think they're still alive.
You should visit them.
Why? Because I'm Mexican? I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Mexican. Let me in. Oh, that's pretty cool. 3 people working here in this little hut.
Just bring some beers,
Some Tecate. Some
Yeah.
cerveza. You guys want some cerveza?
See. I just picture them sitting out front.
In a porch and just
It's just three guys. They have mustaches, of course.
and
Wearing sombreros, playing Game Gear, and they think it's still brand new shit.
they're all and then they have a little old computer that like lags on Twitter, and they're updating it. They're like talking about the new Game Gear games coming out.
Well,
Oh,
weren't those fine?
we're Windows 95.
Well, the last of the Game Gears were produced in Mexico. I think in the early 2000s, what wasn't it like Majesco had companies in Mexico producing Game Gear games?
I think you're thinking about Southern America or South
South
America.
America.
No, was it? I
I
thought
think
it was
so.
Mexico.
It could be.
I'll have
I-
to check the back of my Game Gear. I have a Majesco one. It smells Mexican. So. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Son of a bitch!
Oh.
How dare he make fun of my culture? I've
We'll
been
just
to
cut that shit out.
I've been to Mexico and it's like, didn't even see one Sega game in like a store.
Right.
So like the stores they sell like the same games we buy I guess, but they sell them for like $100 a piece.
Hmm.
When you convert the money. So in Mexico, it's like popular for like them to have shops where
Yeah.
you pay like 2 pesos to go in and play for like 30 minutes on an Xbox 360, and these people have like
Okay.
all the games. So it's like an arcade basically of just regular games.
Yeah, I've seen that when I went to Southeast Asia. Some places were doing that.
Yeah, so my brother, when we were in Mexico, my brother would just go in there and play FIFA all day with a bunch of
Uh-huh.
Mexican kids because that's like the most popular game over there.
Oh, I'm sure.
That and
Soccer?
Call of Duty.
No way.
Yeah, they really like Call of Duty.
No, I was soccer. I was surprised by the soccer because I had no idea, Mexicans had any interest in soccer whatsoever.
Oh no, they don't like soccer at all. I don't think so. I think
They just like the game.
Well, it's
Um,
bright, colorful, and it's loud. Very much like children. They enjoy that sort of shit.
Yep.
Just kidding.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'm Portuguese, if that makes any difference.
It's like Mexican dirty cousin, Portuguese. No, I'm
Exactly.
joking. Right.
We ride around on donkeys and make clay pots. And we like soup. We really enjoy soup.
I wonder if there's a Sega of Portuguese. I mean, or Portugal, whatever it's called.
Fucker. I'm kidding.
There could be.
No. From what I've seen of Portugal, it doesn't have much in the way of that sort of thing happening. So I doubt it.
So I guess we could say in terms of that news item, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Wait and
Well,
see.
which news item? Well,
Oh.
which part?
Sega closing offices.
Well, no, I mean, that makes sense, I think. I mean, those were probably products, manifestations of a bygone age. Back when Sega used to make consoles and shit. Which is
I mean,
a shame.
most people speak English in those countries to begin with, don't they? I mean, why can't we just have just English games? We don't need to have German games and French games. Come on. And it would save paper too. Whenever I buy those PAL releases, the books are about 5 times as thick because they have to fit in all these unnecessary languages. I mean, just have American and Japanese, and I guess British English.
No, skip that, dude. Let's be honest.
From British English.
Okay, let's be honest. This might sound
Yeah.
like I'm talking about freedom, which I am. I'm talking about freedom.
Talk about freedom. Preach it.
Okay, in 100 years, most people are gonna be like, oh, this is how English is supposed to sound like. They're gonna be talking about real movies like Batman and what other good movies did we make? I don't know.
Jurassic Park.
American History X. Anyway,
I thought you
this
said
is
movies.
so you know what I mean. All these like great movies. So like in 100 years, people are gonna be like, I don't know why you guys in Britain are talking so weird. Okay, just talk like English, like you're supposed to, because most of the media that's popular is American. So that means British people should just talk like us.
I mean, look at almost all of our superhero movies have American characters played by British. So
Well, that's just one. It's just us slowly converting them.
yeah,
Look at your heroes; they're American too.
that's right. There are no superheroes over in England.
Captain
They're all
Britain,
over here. They're all in New York.
Captain Britain or whatever is
Well,
Captain Britannia.
yeah, but he
I'm
was
sorry,
actually
I have to
born in
interject here.
America and
We
was
have
taken.
John Constantine.
Oh,
We
that's
have John
true.
Constantine.
But he was
Yeah.
played by Keanu Reeves, very American actor.
But the
Yeah,
graphic
that's true.
novel was set in England. So, and he was an English character.
Not in the movie, dude. The movie counts more than the comic book, dude. Movies are like
I know
superior.
a lot of comic book fanatics that would argue that and slap you in the face, but still, it's. No, I mean, if anything, it just goes to show how much more exciting other cultures are. I mean, yes, Batman is now played by a Welshman, and we have a Brit playing Superman now.
Yeah, that's right.
And really, their television shows we bring over here and turn into movies, or we make a really horrible American version.
Have you guys seen the new MTV version of the British TV show The In-Betweeners?
I haven't. Is it horrible?
No, it's not out yet, but like they released a cast picture, and I'm like, that's all I needed. I'm good. There's this one character on there that's supposed to be tall and skinny. In the American, I thought it was kind of funny. In the American version, he's short and fat, and I was like, well, if there was an American version of it, that's how it would be. You know what I
Because we're
mean?
all fat. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So it's like I wasn't complaining about that, but it's just weird, like getting attached to any TV show and then like being remade.
Yeah.
It's not gonna go well.
No.
Especially since they were saying on the article I was reading, they're just gonna use the same jokes as the British version, and it's
How's that gonna work?
that's what I was saying. That show's way too British. I guess they're just gonna change it to like American slang.
So instead of like crumpets, they'll have like freedom fries.
They'll have donuts.
Yeah,
They're like, let's go eat some donuts.
mate.
There you go.
I'm just curious here. Do the Avengers count as English superheroes?
Isn't
I'm
there?
talking about Emma Peel, Steed,
Oh, no, they're super spies. See, the British have all the super spies, and the Americans have all the superheroes.
It's because we're more powerful.
They do pretty heroic things, though. Wouldn't that technically make them superheroes?
They're not. They're not. They don't have superpowers, though.
I don't know. I saw Emma Peel fall like 5 stories and survive. I think that's pretty super.
But she's poison ivy, isn't she?
Oh, let's forget that.
Dude, I've had this argument in September 11th with my class when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Look, you guys are assholes. You guys, I mean, this is what I said to them, the class. How can you guys say that these firefighters that like risked their lives in September 11th are superheroes? They're not superheroes. They died. Superheroes don't die.
Oh my
You guys are
god.
idiots. You guys don't get it. You guys don't know what superheroes are. You guys are retards.
Heroes, yes. Super, I think not.
right.
If they were really superheroes, September 11th would never happen.
But Spider-Man liked them. Didn't he try to save? There was a Spider-Man comic. He tried to stop 9/11.
But he was hella too busy, like, having drama with Mary Jane. He's like,
Yeah, that's right. He was being rebooted. He didn't have time.
he's like, I'm sorry.
Sorry, man. Well, let's move on to the next piece of news. Viking Battle for Asgard added to the Steam registry.
That means it's coming.
It's coming.
Cumming.
More people will enjoy this game.
I actually really enjoy that game, so I'm actually pretty happy that's coming to PC so I could learn how crap it is now.
Yeah, I know. Well, I actually bought it on your recommendation, and it's a fun game. I like it.
Like 5 years later, it's coming to PC. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I hope that the team gets gets a chance to like finish the game, because when you play the game, it just feels unfinished.
Yeah.
It feels like, oh, like you're in this open world, but there's nothing else to do. You just walk from point A to point B.
That'd be cool if they had like a director's cut of it or something.
Yeah, I'd buy that for sure.
That'd be cool. Have you ever played that game, AJ?
Viking Battle
Yes.
for Asgard? No.
It's good. It would be something I think you might enjoy.
When you go out to buy your,
How recent is it?
it's actually pretty old. So you could get it for like $5. So when you go get your beer, whoop 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 at the store, stop by GameStop. It's like $7 used. Just go in there, hit on the manager lady, get the
You
game.
do that already, man. Shit.
You do that but you don't buy anything usually. This time,
Well,
it was
actually,
like,
back in the day, before I really started doing my life with Sega, I used to buy, current gen games, but then retro kicked back in, and I started realizing, wait, for the same amount of money I spent buying fucking LA Noire. I could buy 3 games on Amazon and I could review them. And then I stopped kind of going to GameStop, which is a shame because there is a really cute girl that works at GameStop and I haven't seen her in
That's
almost
their policy. That's a policy. They have to have
Yeah.
one good-looking girl, or they can't hurt us in.
Oh my God, an ass that was like hypnotic. I'd be standing there for an hour. I didn't even realize it.
Well, there you go.
That, and she was nerdy as shit. Like I could talk to that woman for hours. She was just awesome. But damn, I miss her now. God damn it, George.
Sorry about that, dude. But I don't like talking to women, even if they are well versed in the nerd.
So you're homosexual.
No, I like women for other things, just not talking.
You don't want to find like a nerdy, dirty, and curvy young woman that would love to talk video games with you and perhaps stroke your cock.
See, why would I want them to talk though when I could talk to Barry on
Yeah.
I don't
fills
know.
that desire. He fills that hole for me.
So George's dream is getting off with a woman while talking to me on Skype.
Yeah, pretty much.
Very
great.
dirty to me as I stick it to this.
Give me a sec. Please be quiet, woman. Barry's talking about Sonic the Hedgehog 3 music.
Well, actually, I wasn't going to bring this up, but I wanted to mention it. I remember back in the maybe like 2001 or something, they made an Ooh La La Space Channel 5 porn.
Yeah, they did.
And
I've seen it.
I can't find it, and I did a Google search for it, and I found a different one, which is hilarious. It's like a 10-minute video, and it's got this guy in a white. It's Japanese made, but it has an American woman playing Ooh La La, and it has this guy in a white spandex suit talking to an army of guys in like kabuki masks, and Ooh La La is secretly reporting on them. And then they find her, and then she has sex with the leader, and then he dies. And then she looks at the camera and like says "mission accomplished" or something like that.
Oh man.
So what I want to ask is, can we put that on the front page of the site?
I rather. I'm already getting crap about Knuckles with the bad language, so I would say yes. We should probably do that.
Okay, well I'll just
put like an image and then just put like not safe for work, especially for life or kids.
Right.
Maybe
well, the good thing is, here's the thing, George. It's like in Japan they always blur out the sex acts.
Oh yeah, that's true. I can't see that shit. Especially it'll scar the shit out of me.
Yeah, so all the poles and holes are all blurred out.
Well, this is what I love about America.
Go on, preach it.
We get to see dick go in vagina on pornography movies. Japan, communist nation, not gonna happen.
Why do you think they turn to all the really weird, dirty stuff? Because they don't have to blur that.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, woman shitting on another woman, that's okay.
Yeah, but don't put that pee-pee in your hole.
That's a natural. That's weird. What are you doing that for?
Weird. Isn't that how Japanese people are born? You shit on another person. I'm just kidding. Moving on.
That's sex.
Is that how Japanese people are born, out of shit? Is that what you said?
Well, Phantasy Star Online 2 was released on America's birthday, so they're making us feel like shit playing that game while we're celebrating America.
Drunk to care, though.
Yeah. Do you think it's ever coming over here?
No. No, I'm hoping it. Man, I'm surprised it didn't just launch the first day. It just feels like it's so weird that we have Spiral Knights, but like Sega's all Phantasy Star Online 2. Nah, that won't be a hit.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I mean, it seems like an easy game to publish. You just have to do some of the translation, and there's no box necessary. It can be all digital.
Which is the new Sega of West move. There's supposed to be the digital branch, but like they ignore all these Japanese digital games.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. I think I don't know. Something's wrong at Sega.
They hate America.
They do. I think it's Sega Japan's like, no, I'm sorry.
It's because I say all these racist things on the podcast, and then they're like, Barry, no, you ruined it for all of you. Sorry.
Barry says we're made of shit.
Well, maybe the problem, and this is much worse, I think, is that maybe one of the reasons that a lot of these games aren't coming over is because there isn't enough of a fan outcry for them. And that sucks. Sucks for us, but I mean, I'm sure if they felt that there was a strong enough demand, they would meet demand. But unfortunately, not so much, which is why we're having issues, I suppose, with the Yakuza series.
Mm.
That and also saying that they're made of shit. I mean, that could be a problem.
I didn't say they're made of shit. I'm just saying when you watch Japanese porn, they blur all of the stuff that I need to know how Japanese people are born. So I'm just assuming that whatever isn't blurred is, I guess, how it works.
So shitting on other human beings is okay in Japan.
You never know. I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know.
That's fine. I'll take it.
Like, the one thing I'd like to know is that I heard a rumor once that their vaginas there are actually horizontal as opposed to vertical. Or is that the
okay?
No, I heard that can happen. But I'm starting to wonder. I think that may be Chinese culture, not Japanese.
That might be a grade school fact.
I'm pretty sure that's a fact.
This is true, though. Asians do not have yellow earwax. It's clear.
Really?
Yeah, I had a Japanese manager when I worked for my school, and she came over to me and she was like, "Do you have yellow earwax?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" And she goes, "That's weird." And I said, "Why are you asking me that?" And she goes, "I have clear earwax. Look." And she showed me, and I was like, "Oh."
You should have just looked at her and said, "Let me see your vagina."
I would have lost my job.
You think? Who dares win, sir?
I don't know. I thought I'd counter the racist talk with one true fact, so hopefully I've redeemed myself. Speaking of the Japanese, they got some more games over there that we're probably not going to get. Sega Age's PS2 retro remake collections are heading to the Japanese PSN. What are those games, George? Which
It's
ones?
going to be the Die Hard Arcades, I guess, games. The collection. Gunstar Heroes collection. And Dragon Force port, I guess.
Oh, man. Those games sound all right, huh?
Yeah, those are pretty good. I wish PSN in America got those.
You can't even import them some way?
You could import, I guess, the PS2 versions, or you could just make a Japanese account and like import those like pay or buy points. You could buy like on Amazon Japanese like cards, and you could actually buy them, but they're gonna be in Japanese.
What do you think of that, AJ?
Too much trouble for Sega to just release them over here.
Yeah, I know, right?
So are they actually PS2 games?
Yeah, it's like an image of a PS2 game, and it boots up like a PS2 game on your PS3, kind of.
So it's not coming out as a physical disc.
No, it's not coming out on a physical disc. It's going to come out on PSN only.
Well, here's what I don't get. I mean, if we have on my PSN, they have a special feature where you can download PS1 Japanese games. Well,
yeah, they have that now.
Yeah, well, why the fuck can't we just do that with Sega Ages?
That's actually kind of. I think there has to be some sort of like contracting or whatever with Sony, and Sony hasn't done it. I'm sure in the future they'll probably make some contracts out, but Sega won't be part of it because they're so scared of making money.
My local used game store usually has a little stack of the Sega Ages titles. They had the Fantasy Zone one last time I was there.
You didn't buy it?
Well, the problem is I don't know how to play imported games on my PS2. From what I saw, you need like this disc swapper.
Dude, it's just having it, dude.
I know. Maybe next time I go there.
Getting a Japanese PS2 isn't the hardest thing in the world, and it's not a bad investment, really, because there were some Japanese titles released for PlayStation as well as PS2 that were pretty good. And really, like, if not for like Japanese exclusives, even some of the alternate versions of games, like, well, let's not forget the like Biohazard.
Mm-hmm.
You have those titles. Not to mention they got Metal Gear Solid Integral, which had the first-person view mode and it had a bunch of extra features. So there's a lot of that kind of shit. So I mean, and a Japanese PS2, you don't have as many backward compatibility issues with the PS1 titles. So it's bad. They're fairly inexpensive. It's not a, I mean, if you ever feel like, I just want to throw my money away at something absolutely frivolous. Oh, I'll get it.
The problem with Barry is that he's very anti-Sony product. So if he has too much Sony products in one room, he'll freak out.
That's
You can't
true.
take it.
I have one right now, and I'm feeling all right.
He's feeling okay with it, but you add one more, and it's like, oh shit.
I
I feel
actually
like
like
PS2 just
Sony.
got a partner in crime.
I like Sony when it comes to like televisions and stuff. I have a Sony Wega in the back room that I play all my retro stuff on. You know, the flat screen ones, but they're a tube TV.
He hates Sony, dude. He hates the Vita. He hates the
I
PS3.
like the Vita.
He loves Move though, which is kind of odd. I don't understand where that came from.
So you sit, unlike the Kinect. So.
I like how soft the Move controllers are. The little rubber ping pong balls. It feels good.
He's like, it's safe.
Yeah, it is very safe. I can hit anyone with it. Connect, that's dangerous. I don't like it.
Okay? We're not gonna talk about motion controls. We're gonna get a bunch of complaints.
Let's talk about another thing Sega Japan's doing. It seems like they're doing a lot right now. Sega
They have
Japan
the money,
opens
dude.
up. They do something called Sega Networks, which is different from Sega Network, the blog roll on our site. It's
They
kind of
just took
funny.
over.
I saw the name for that, and I was like, I thought you were doing like a post about it. And I was like, it's old. I don't know why you're talking about it. So it is a development team solely. Their sole purpose is smartphones and smart devices, right?
Yeah, tablets.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
They're gonna release high quality video games. I guess it'd be cool if they allow. I was kind of hoping that like, you know how. Oh, we'll get into this later. Actually, I shouldn't bring up that team right now. But
Uh-huh.
I just hope that they bring up like their own franchises. Like they make like they just don't take like, oh, ooh la la, we're just gonna port the game on the tablet. Like that's
Right.
cool and everything, but I wish they like did their own, just new original games, kind of like you were saying, Infinity. What how do you pronounce it?
Infinity Blade.
There you go. That game
Yeah.
is all scratch from, what I mean, the whole world is brand new for that, for the tablets and stuff.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I hope they don't become like a business that just ports art, like the Block people, where they make like arcade games into iOS versions, or or they make like Sonic Puzzle Card Battle or something like that. Like, I'd rather they actually, since they're doing some high-end games and smartphones are capable of doing those types of things, they could do something like a fully 3D, like, I don't know, like sword fighting game or something with new characters. I mean, that would be fun.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and the CEO, someone was saying, is that the son of someone in the
Yeah,
company?
yeah. I think he's like the president's son or something. I think. Like,
Huh.
yeah. So I guess he's like, oh, look at me. I'm starting off. I hope he's not an asshole. Like I usually think all of like rich people's sons are. They're all doing coke, coming in all late. What's all this crap?
Sonic Card Battle. We're making Sonic Card Battle.
Fuck yes, dude. A Sonic game where you color characters. Fuck yeah. That would probably sell a lot, actually.
I'd buy that.
Yeah. Um,
So,
if they have to port any games to the tablet in high quality, I hope
mhm.
they do like Valkyria Chronicles 1 through 3. I think those games could control pretty well on a tablet.
I bet it would be cool if they did some DS games over to the tablet devices, because I've played Phoenix Wright on an iPhone and it was great. So,
AJ
good work.
AJ doesn't believe in smartphones or tablets.
He believes in rotary phones.
Actually, I do enjoy rotary phones. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Andrew, you don't have a smartphone?
No, I don't like smartphones. It's just another stupid fucking device that we call smart. I don't know why, because every stupid fucking smartphone user I see, they just bitch and moan about how slow it is, how they have that little stupid locking mechanism where you have to like draw a shape on it to open it up. Not to mention the fact that what's one thing that you're guaranteed to do at least once with any sort of handheld device? Drop it!
Oh.
Drop it. Yes.
I was going to say take a picture of your wang, but I guess not.
Well, no, I mean, sure, we all do that, but I'm talking about
all of
you
us.
drop the fucking thing, and it has a cracked screen, and then, of course, they're like, oh, man, that kills me when I see teens making fun of my archaic little flip phone fucker. At least it still works. Here, they're just like, oh, I cracked the screen, but because I'm 18 and stupid, and I spend money on dumb things like smartphones that I don't need because I don't do jack shit with my life. I never mind. I don't like smartphones. I'm never gonna get one. They can suck my ass.
Well, I planned ahead. I got insurance on mine, so I could drop it all I want and break it
Do
all I
it.
want.
Insurance? What is it? A fucking car? It's just.
It's a car. It's a little car. It's a little investment I made.
It gets him places.
It gets me places. I don't know. I don't know how to go anywhere. Like if you
Look,
ask,
unless it gets you into a girl's pants, don't bother. There, I said it.
if I can't be made fun of, I can't have a flip phone. I want people making fun of me.
People
Yeah,
are
come
gonna
on.
anyway, Jeremy.
George has low self-esteem issues. Leave him
Yeah.
It's
alone.
not easy being Mexican.
It's not easy. You gotta have
It
some.
isn't.
I don't
You
even know how
need
to
some
use this
style.
smartphone, but it's great.
You got short hair now, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No,
No, you shaved though, right?
I shaved my face.
See, you got your smartphone, your shaved face. You're looking stylish. Do you have a? Could you make like a ponytail or something?
Yeah, I made a ponytail. I had an interview, and it went pretty terrible.
Oh,
When
what
I
happened?
walked in, the person thought I was gonna steal something. So that was right away. I was like, this is not gonna go well, and it
Oh,
didn't go well. That's all right though.
that's okay. You got me.
I got Barry. That's all that matters,
Yeah,
and a smartphone.
that's
Sorry,
right.
Jay.
Why aren't you a smart man, George?
I don't know, man. I don't need to be smart. I have a phone to do all my thinking for me.
That's right.
The phone's all fucked up.
The phone's pretty fucked up. I dropped it a couple times.
Thank you for proving my point.
Okay, you win.
So much for that fucking insurance, right?
I have to go take it back. I just don't have enough gas because I spent so much money on the phone.
Oh.
That's our George.
There you go.
Da-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Sega.
Let's see. We got one more piece of news here.
Excellent.
This game, I've never heard of it before. It's called like N.I. Gets into Dreams, Nights into Dreams. They're releasing it in HD on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and the personal computer. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
No smartphones? What am I going to
No
play it on?
smartphones. Well, maybe your Vita. We'll see.
Oh, I guess so. No, I'll play it on my PS3. I'd rather just play it on a big screen. That's one of those games
Yeah.
that you got to sit down and you got to play it. Actually, it could go either way on Vita since it's very short burst. The
It's
game.
pretty arcadey. Yeah.
Yeah, it's arcadey.
So this is great because all of those Knights fans who keep spamming Sega's Twitter, they're going to be done now. They're quiet.
They're done now. They're like, well, it's kind of like when you like work so hard on doing something and you finally do it, you don't know what you're gonna do with your life.
Yeah.
Probably just enjoy the game. They'll find something to complain about.
They'll
Wait,
talk about Transformed and how it needs to have Knights as a racer.
let me get this straight. You're telling me that fans expressed that there was a demand for this game and Sega is giving it to us?
Yeah, pretty crazy, huh?
Wow, fucking A.
Actually, the moment it was announced, all the Shenmue fans were like, Sega doesn't listen to their fans. We asked for Shenmue 3 and Shenmue HD, and they give us Knights. And I'm like, yeah, you get Knights. Shut the fuck up. I like Shenmue 2, but it's getting annoying.
Admittedly, the fan base has kind of turned me off because my first Dreamcast review was going to be Shenmue.
Uh-huh.
But, well, again, here's something. This is why I hate fanatics of anything. It's not just Sega, it's not just Nintendo, but just fanatics in general. Like even fanatics hurt my love of Dark Knight because they keep going on about how incredible it is, and then they get intensely angry if somebody doesn't share that opinion 100%, which is true of all fanatics.
Batman Begins was better.
No, I don't.
What are you talking about, dude? It had ninjas. It had Christian Bale. It was awesome.
Yeah, my dick weeps. It was so
Scarecrow was so awesome in that movie.
well,
To be fair to
Dark
George, Dark Knight Rises is looking to be more of a sequel to Batman Begins.
Perhaps, I don't know.
From what I've been hearing,
Leagues of Shadows.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep that shit out of my head because I want to be somewhat excited. I'm trying to avoid the hyperbole and just enjoy it, but still
Dark Knight Rises is going to be one of the best movies ever created.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up, George. And but no, again, the fans of Shenmue are almost as bad. I understand. I mean, I remember when I bought Shenmue for the Dreamcast. The reason I bought the Dreamcast, besides the fact it was Sega and the console looked fucking sweet, was, because I heard Capcom was going to jump ship from Sony and start producing Resident Evil titles for Sega. And that's when all I needed to see was these 2 screen caps for Code Veronica, and I was already, I had half a stock just looking at the shit. So I'm like, oh, I'm buying it. Then I got Shenmue, and it was the first time I had played like a sandbox adventure. I liked the detective element, like you're having to investigate the murder of your own father and all this kind of shit, and running around feeding a fucking cat for whatever reason, and getting bored within the game and actually going to an arcade to play Sega games, which is kind of funny because the whole reason I'm playing Shenmue is, one, because I enjoy the story, and because I'm bored. I want to occupy my time with something productive and fulfilling or entertaining. Right. Yet I'm bored within the game, so I'm going to an arcade to play video games. I'm very confused by this, but I thought it was amazing. And
you keep drinking soda even though it does nothing for your health or anything like that.
Just for the animation.
That actually hurt me for a while because I played that game once for 6.5 hours straight, and I felt so sick afterwards, and then I realized, wait a minute, I haven't eaten, but I could have sworn, oh, wait, never mind.
That was Rio.
Yeah, I had sushi in the game. I didn't have it in real life. Oh, fuck me. And, but, I get it. It was an incredible experience, and, it foreshadowed many things that were to come. I understand that Shenmue is an incredible achievement, and I'm just as disappointed as most American fans are of the game that we didn't get the sequels and all that kind of shit, because it ended on a fucking cliffhanger.
Right.
But it's like, calm the fuck down,
Yeah.
You know what I liked about that game?
What?
That, like, everything in that... It's like if Sega took over the world, basically, and they made everything. Like, you have tape decks, Sega tape decks. Sega tapes. It's like, oh man, I wish I lived in this world. This is crazy.
Sega food.
Yeah. I also like how he chooses his questions to ask people. He's like, "Do you remember the Men in Black?" And it's like, what? Like, why don't you just ask, like, you know what I mean? It's like he tries to, like, avoid to ask direct questions. Like, do you remember those people that murdered my father? He doesn't ask that. Usually he'll ask, like, do you remember the day that it rained?
Yeah.
And it's all awkward. It's like, what? It's so Japanese.
You know who I fucking hate in the game? Most of the NPCs, for the most part. I really hate them, especially when it comes time that you get the clue that the motherfucker had a tattoo or something. So you start looking around for tattoos, and Rio is like, yes, do you know of anyone with a tattoo? And it's like, Rio, you're not getting a tattoo, are you? And I get it. Tattoos are taboo in Japanese culture, which I understand. But almost every fucking NPC in the goddamn game keeps saying that shit. And I'm like, can I please skip this? Just please. I'm tired. This is almost as bad as in real life when I was younger. And I'm like, I would like to get a tattoo. I'd like to grow my hair long. I'd like to fuck a girl in the ass. And same shit over and over again. It's just
I don't know why you would be telling people the last one. It's like, I'm going to tell everybody in the neighborhood.
Mom, Dad, gather around.
Family meeting.
Your son's got an ambition.
And I'm going to fulfill it tonight.
Well, and that's when they tell you, it's like, hey, you know what? Butt sex is like spinach. If it's forced upon you as a child, you're not going to appreciate it when you get older.
Oh, that's true.
Well,
having said that, the rated E for everyone, Nights into Dreams. Have either of you actually played the original game? I know I'm surprised when I see people on our forums and they're like, "Oh, I've never played it. I guess I'll get around to playing this one." I'm like, "Why haven't you played it yet? It's Nights into Dreams." It's one of those games where it's like, I don't want to tell people too much that they need to play it, otherwise I'll be overselling it, because I do think it's a really good game, but I don't want to be the one to be like, "You should buy a system, you should play the game," and then they get it and they're like, "It's pretty good, Barry, but it's not worth it." But
yeah, I bought it a long time ago. Like, the only reason I afforded I bought the game was because this, like, small rental shop or whatever they call them, a movie shop. It was going out of business, and they were selling all their Sega Saturn and not Dreamcast at the time. It was like, I forgot what else it was.
32X.
they were selling their Sega Saturn games, and Knights was one of them, and it was like $5.
Yeah.
It's best $5 I ever spent.
No, it's a great game. I mean, I'll admit I don't get into like the characters and stuff like some Nights into
Fans,
Dreams fans do because to be honest, it doesn't have strong characters. It's not one of those games. It's more like it's an arcade game. I mean, people can be fans of whatever they want, but the Knights community, like, there's a certain point where I don't get it. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, when Clarice and Elliot, when in that cutscene, I'm like, it's just the kid wanted to play basketball. I mean, it's not that
follow your
groundbreaking.
dreams, etc. I
Yeah.
get it.
But no, it's a great game. I loved it, and so I'm really looking forward to getting it in HD.
It looks
Definitely.
incredible already. Like it looks like good. It has really good. It has really good art style.
hmm
So,
Music's great too. The music changes with how you're playing.
yep.
Yeah. Well, it has the pre-chow. What are those? The Nighttopians or whatever.
They also don't they also change depending on how you play throughout the level.
Yeah, I think they help you out. I don't know how exactly, but I think they might.
They hit the bad guys, I think, and then they change.
That's right. Yeah, and then the music changes. And what else they got going in that game? They've got the Christmas nights thing that is probably going to be included.
DLC.
Yeah. Or it might, maybe they'll release the game around November, and then when December comes, release it for free as a gift to all the fans. That would be pretty cool.
No, they're gonna release it for like $5.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it would be worth it.
Yeah.
Even though it used to be free.
Yeah.
You know what? Stop poking holes in this shit, George.
I know, but I'm just saying that there's gonna be a lot of complaints on the internet about it if they charge for it. That's all. I'm
I
just saying.
paid for mine. I bought mine used for like $5, I think.
I don't mind that they give it away for free or they don't give it away for free. Hey man, you got to make money, especially when you're cutting your fiery.
Well, they just made a shitload already then.
Yeah.
How much do you think this game's gonna sell? It's gonna sell better than the Wii one, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
All right, then we'll see. That'd be weird if it only sells 5,000 copies. Like literally around the world, there's only 5,000 Knights fans.
Oh. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those. It's like Sonic CD, where I think it just has that sort of push behind it, where people are like, "Oh yeah, that's that really good Saturn game, right? I've never played it, but it's really good." So,
I've heard it's
kind of like,
amazing.
yeah, kind of like with Shenmue, how I think there are far more people who say they're fans of it, but they never actually played the game, or they played it at a friend's house, but they don't own it.
I feel the same way with Panzer Dragoon.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
That's actually a huge one. I always have people ask me like, "Yeah, man, I like that game," and then I ask them questions specifically about it, and they're like, "Well, it's been a long time or something," and I'm like, "Okay, I understand," and I just drop it.
Do you own any of them?
I own the Saga,
Oh, wow.
the second one, but oddly enough, not the first one.
Huh.
That's weird,
Weirdo.
huh?
Do you have
That is
Saga?
kind of,
No, AJ, you don't have Saga, right? That was the one that Knuckles wanted to lend you or something like that.
no, I own Saga.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, that's the pride and joy of. Well, okay, I have a few like gems of my collection. One is my pimped out Japanese Sega Saturn,
hmm
and the other one is a damn near new Panzer Dragoon Saga, Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei, and then Panzer Dragoon. So I have the entire saga, the North American releases, and
hmm
the discs are in fantastic shape. The instructions are not creased; they're just really nice and crisp. I got it off the collector, and I got the 3 games for like $280, if I remember correctly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a find, and I was so happy to play Saga because I really wanted like a big title to review, and I already have Shenmue, and unless I learn Japanese, I'm kind of screwed on Shenmue too. Yeah,
The
so
European version has English subtitles
does
for
it?
two. Yeah.
Oh, well then, thank you, George. I'll have to
Yeah.
credit you when that episode comes. But no, it's like for the but I really wanted a big game, and people kept telling me it was amazing, and it has an interesting story. Like I'm sure everyone's heard the stories about how it's like the code is lost. Whatever chances we have at seeing like a re-release of it are like next to none, so on
hmm
and so forth. So, and because North America specifically only got so many copies, um, So I'm like, hey, you know what? I need to try this game. I wasn't too excited about trying it because it was an RPG. So I'm not really big on RPGs. But playing it recently, I have to say it's fucking good. It's really made me kind of turn, my attention towards RPGs. It's almost like the gateway drug. It's pot to me right now. So,
Am I the only one? When I was younger and the game was first being previewed, it was actually kind of weird going to school and having all these people in my bus talk about Final Fantasy VII,
Oh.
and I'm like, what are they talking about? This is Final Fantasy. I
that's
wonder
over.
if the game's any good. And I borrowed the game actually from a friend when I was in school, and I didn't like it. Like
No.
my friends were watching me play because like we were younger. There's when you used to go to your friend's house and watch people play games,
Uh-huh.
and they would watch me play. They were all into it. I was like, this is kind of dumb. It's kind of boring. And
But
I was never a big Final Fantasy VII guy.
no, it's got a great story, but like you, I've had issues with it where one, I don't like how the random encounters play out. Like I don't like how they feel more jarring to me. Well, when they pop up, like it doesn't bother me so much like in Chrono Trigger or in Panzer Dragoon Saga, but for whatever reason, Final Fantasy VII, like if they had taken the story of Final Fantasy VII and made it into a movie,
Uh-huh.
I I would most certainly watch it. As a game, it held my interest for like maybe a quarter of the first disc, and then over time, I just kind of lost interest. I'm like,
There's this there's this terrible moment when you're like in a desert lost and you just walk and get into fights for like hours. I don't know how long. I don't know. It feels like hours to me though. I hated that. I was like, this is so terribly designed. I don't know why. I just don't understand why so many people liked it. Like, I thought I played better. I thought Chrono Trigger was a way better game.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
that held my attention for much, much, much longer. I only put it down because I just needed a break after like a week of playing it nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing it on the DS, so my hands kind of cramp up. And I'm like, yeah, I still need my hands to edit and shit. I can't be doing this.
Anything you guys want to say about Knights before people complain that we didn't talk enough about Knights?
Uh,
I,
no, it's a good game, and it'll be a good re-release, I think.
The game's like 30 minutes long. There's just so much you could talk about a 30-minute long game.
It's short, but it's got replayability.
Oh, yeah, it has a lot of replayability. It's one of those games that a lot of people say, like, I'm not buying it. It's only 30 minutes long. But you don't understand, like, you're probably going to spend, like, hours and hours and hours on it just because it's so fun to play. It's so easy to pick up and just play.
Yeah, it's like a racing game, there's only so many tracks, but you can try to beat your best times, and even then you can explore. There's like waterfalls you can go behind and
Yep.
fun stuff like that.
well, that also, it's just so visually arresting, even for that time. I feel, and even now, I think it still holds up pretty well visually.
I think it does, too. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of little weird things it did. Like, there's that marshmallow place where, like, you hit the floor and then, like, everything's like, it's like a mattress. I always thought that was so cool. I don't know why. And then when you
Yeah.
go and then there's mirrors and then you see your reflection, I always thought that looked really, really cool because when that game came out, that was kind of like rare
Mm-hmm.
to actually see reflections in mirrors
Yes.
in a game.
Yeah, I
So
remember that.
yeah, I want to see it in HD. That game has I want to see what it looks like. It's gonna look pretty nice, hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I'd like to add, going back to what Barry was saying about how you'll see some folks in the forum and they haven't tried it. I wonder if it may have had the same problem. Like when I saw Knights coming out, I remember seeing the ads for it. I remember seeing the bundle where you got the game as well as the 3D
Controller?
controller.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love that controller, especially for Quake. I love that controller, and I always find it funny whenever I had friends come over, and they're like, "Oh, okay, we'll play some Saturn." I'm like, "All right, here you go. Which controller do you want?" I'm like, "I don't want that fucking saucer. Get that away from me." I'm like, "Fine, bitch. I'm gonna whip your dick no matter what." Because I like that controller. It's good for my big, like, mountain man hands. I
Mm-hmm.
that shit. Also for playing Quake because it plays so much better with the analog stick than with the D-pad. Yeah, but still, like I think the thing that turned me off about Knights when I saw it because I didn't get it when it came out. I only bought it recently, like 6 months ago, and played it for the first time. Went to MagFest, I think it was. I forget how many months ago that was. but I picked it up for my Japanese Saturn for like $10, and I took it home and I finally played it, and it's really fucking good. But what turned me off from it way back in the day was that it was just so cutesy, and that's not what I was looking for at the time. I associated cutesy with Nintendo, not Sega.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't really my interest. It's like, oh, but look, you can fly. I'm like, fuck that. Give me a new Sonic game. Give me the definitive Saturn Sonic title. And of course, they never did. Not really.
I have to say, I'm actually kind of happy they made Knights. I think it's like, I don't know, it's just fresh.
Yeah.
I appreciate it now. It's a good game. But
yeah. But at the time, everybody just wanted Sonic 4.
Yeah, they also did Burning Rangers in that time too, instead of a Sonic game.
Which I'm hoping they. I don't know. Probably not port. I don't think that game should be ported. I mean, I think
It's good.
It's good, but I think there's so many other important Saturn games that deserve to be ported ahead.
Oh yeah.
Like Shining Force 3, Volume 1, 2, and 3.
That'd be awesome.
Saga, that would be pretty awesome. That'd be way too big of a project though to take on.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. We could move on now if you want.
Actually, that's our next topic. Actually, what Saturn titles would you like to be seeing re-released in HD?
Well, I already ruined my thing, so you guys can go.
You'd say that one. I would say Panzer Dragoon Saga. I know they say they lost the code, but there's got to be some way. Because I mean, there always is a time when I'm like, oh, I got an extra. I could handle an extra $200, and then I look online and I'm like, I can't do it. $200 is just too much for one game for me. And I know it's Panzer Dragoon Saga, but I just feel like there's going to be that time when I drop the money, and then like a year or two later they release it for like $20 or something.
They won't. I have a gut about this because because I was doing research for the review and just out of interest in Sega shit.
Mm-hmm.
What it looks like. One, because the title is so rare, it's we don't have the fan demand for it. It's not Shenmue. So, we don't really see a lot of fan outcry for it. And didn't we technically get that for the Xbox? I forget. Wasn't that
the Xbox one you're thinking about was Orda, which is a new game.
Oh,
and it came with the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's a rail shooter.
Oh, so it's a rail shooter. It's not an RPG. Okay, so, but again, and I keep coming across the same story. The code is gone. And now, I've always thought, well, why can't you just rip the information off the disc?
That's what I don't get. Yeah.
I think that was okay. I already know what that comment was because I've been doing Sega blogs for too long.
Yeah.
It was the old president of Sega was being asked questions by I guess why doesn't Shimu come out? Why don't you do this game? And one of them was, why don't you do Panzer Dragoon Saga? And he just said because the code's lost. And it's thinking okay, dude, you're a Sega of America president. How the hell did he just pull that answer out of it? I think he just pulled that answer out of his ass to ignore the question because how do you even lose code that you spend money on? That doesn't make any sense. Especially, and how do you even know? Did he call and ask hey, put Panzer Dragoon Saga on?
Well, that could have been a sore spot. It's who knows? That may have been a thorn in his ass. It was are you serious? Are you telling me that we spent so much money on a fucking game only for you to lose the goddamn code?
It could have been.
But the president of Sega at that time wasn't even. He was moving away from using old Sega IPs, and he didn't want to spend money on bringing them out. All the Genesis games at the time were all made by Backbone Entertainment for really cheap. He was trying to do licensed games. He thought that the future of Sega would be licensed games. He's the one that struck up the Marvel deal. He's the one that struck up the Aliens deal. He struck up all those deals, and apparently Sega disagreed because he's not CEO there anymore. But
oops.
And now they're going back. They're I guess focusing on re-releases now. So I mean, hopefully he was lying and there is source code, and maybe they'll think about it. But I don't think Sega would be doing that.
Well, according to this, what I found, it says Yukio Futatsugi. I'm sorry for murdering your name, sir, if you happen to hear this. But it seems that he confirmed that the original source code for the game has been lost.
Oh, so it's true then.
Yes.
Wow, I guess I guess I give him less credit. I guess I give a CEO too little credit.
Again, sore spot in the ass.
Yeah. It's very sad, especially well. What's up with Sega in the Saturn era, huh?
Yeah, right.
They had no shit together.
Well, poor marketing, supporting 5 pieces of hardware at the same time, jumping release dates for consoles.
And cocaine.
oh no, that was my time. No.
But another thing I wanted to mention, the trailer has Sega Heritage, which is a new logo we haven't seen before, which I'm assuming is their new term for either Saturn re-releases or just all their re-releases from here on out.
That's cool. I mean, Sega Heritage is better than just calling it like Dreamcast Collection, and then everybody gets all mad.
Yeah, because I mean, Dreamcast Collection never even had a startup screen that said that. They just kind of said on the blogs, "Hey, the next Dreamcast Collection title's coming out." So it'd be cool. I mean, I don't really know if heritage is the right word to use, but I guess because heritage isn't that something more that defines your later, and you haven't really been making new Knights games, so
Well, they made one this
aside from the Wii
generation
one.
at least.
Yeah, it's cool though. I liked it. It said established 1951. That was a nice touch. So hopefully they'll just start slapping that on all their trailers for digital re-releases.
One game I would love to see an HD re-release or perhaps a sequel. You know, some I don't know. Deep Fear. That was a Saturn game that was released in Europe and Japan, and it was a really good survival horror game. I feel like it was Sega's answer to Resident Evil 2 since their port was canceled. And let me see, it was released sometime in mid '98, I think, in Japan. But it's a really good game, and it did one thing that the Resident Evil series couldn't do until 2010, I think, where you can actually walk and shoot. You can run.
You can't do that still, dude.
No, I thought they did that in Resident Evil 5. I forget.
No, Resident Evil 5 actually was one of the biggest complaints that you can't do that.
Oh, well then, Deep Fear. Sega 1, Capcom 0. You could never actually run and shoot in Deep Fear. And it's done the same way. 3D objects against 2D backdrops. And it's very much like Resident Evil meets The Abyss.
I liked Resident Evil 4, which is weird because the controls in Resident Evil 5 are kind of like the same. But I thought that the way that Resident Evil 4 was designed, like stopping and shooting kind of made sense and stuff. When you played Resident Evil 5, I don't know, it just didn't make sense. It just felt weird. Maybe it's just because it was 5 years after.
Well, with Resident Evil 5, it really feels as if it should have had controls where you could run or walk and shoot.
Not move like a tank.
Pretty much. I mean, I've played games with much worse tank controls, like The Crow, City of Angels for the Sega Saturn. Oh God, that was bad. That was beyond bad. But still, I don't know. I feel like the action and the energy of Resident Evil 5 was just so much more intense that really they should have figured that out. I mean, if Sega or ISCO, who actually developed Deep Fear, Sega was merely a publisher, they should have figured that the fuck out. I mean, if Sega could do it back in 1998, what the fuck is your excuse, Capcom? Really. But that's a game I would love to see re-released.
A lot of fans say that it's this, I don't know, it's a trademark having bad controls in the Resident Evil game.
You know what? I used to say that as well, but the gameplay has evolved so far from where it once was. Like, really, I think the last great classic Resident Evil game was Code Veronica. Like, that was the last one.
I agree.
And still, the Dreamcast version is the best still by far. I've played Resident Evil Code Veronica X for the PS2, which enough graphically isn't as good as the Dreamcast version, isn't as smooth, and the controls for the Dreamcast controller are much better, but I feel that's probably because the game was developed as a Dreamcast game, not a PlayStation game. But that was like the last great game where it was about solving puzzles as well as killing shit. Now, the Resident Evil games feel more like action titles. And I feel that's kind of a shame. I mean, I like the action. It's exciting stuff. But I miss some of the ridiculous fucking puzzles of the series, and they've just kind of done away with them. That, and I think they should just let Wesker die already, for fuck's sake.
Well, what Saturn games would you want besides Deep Fear?
Besides Deep Fear, well, I mean, sure, some of the classics. Like the Virtua Fighter games, I'd like to see all of them done, as well as Virtua Cop, and a much better version of Virtua Racing, which... Also, not even just Saturn games, but I think some games I would like to see, like a Zaxxon collection, like where you get the classic Zaxxon, as well as Zaxxon's Mother Base 2000, which is still a 32X exclusive. And maybe redo it with some HD graphics, because, the 3D polygon rendering is, fairly, bland on the or on the 32X. So seeing an HD version of that would be awesome. Oh, another Saturn game, Stellar Assault, which was released on 32X as well, but scaled way back, and it was retitled Shadow Assault, Shadow Squadron here. So that's an awesome fucking game. It's also an exceedingly rare Saturn title, so I would love to see that. And it's one of Sega's better, like, arcade 3D shooters. It's really well done. The Saturn version looks amazing. I've been trying to find a copy for a while now, and it's proving very difficult. And it's also an expensive title. So
that's pretty like unknown titles that Sega's gonna be like, are you serious?
Yeah. I think it would be great if Sega maybe pulled a Roger Corman and actually just pulled out some game footage from their library and say, hey, how does this shit look to you? Because, like, Roger Corman, he used to put out posters for movies that didn't exist. He didn't even have fucking screenplays for them. He would just make a goddamn poster, put it out there, and see how people responded. Then he was like, oh, people really like this poster. Okay, you, dickhead over there, write me a screenplay. Hey, do you know how to work a camera? Yes. Oh, good, you're directing it. Go!
That's exactly what happened with Sega when they ported Bass Fishing.
Yeah.
They're just like, what do you think about this? And the guy's like, people love fishing, dude.
I love fishing.
This out. We gotta put this out.
Aww.
Just did that. Just put together some footage and say, like, hey, these are some of the games that we have. Does this look exciting to you? Or something. I think that would be fun. But again, this is like my dream list. I know it won't fucking happen, nor do I really give a shit, because you know what? They could do all these HD fucking releases. I'm still probably not going to buy them. Well, no, I'll buy them. I just won't play them, because why? I have the fucking consoles right there. I'll play those. I'd rather play it with a Sega controller on a Sega console on my old piece of shit TV with its standard definition graphics. There. I said it.
What if George finagled some DLC codes for you if you promised to make video reviews?
No, what? You mean like if I did video reviews for these HD releases, and he would be like, "Oh, here's some downloadable content if you do it."
No. Like a code, you download the game on your PSN or your Xbox Live Arcades or whatever you use, and then you download the game for free, and then you just do a video review. That's what he's saying.
Oh.
I'm not speaking for George. I'm just saying that's like, just saying. If it was free, would you mind?
Well, if it was free, would I review it?
Yeah.
I'm not a fucking bum, man. I don't need charity.
I'm not saying if it's free, will you eat it? Like, I'm not handing you something. Hey, man, I found this on the floor. It's free. Do you want to eat it? I guess.
Okay.
Sleep on it.
I don't know. I mean, it's funny you should mention that. If they were to do, like, some of these games, I guess I would have to eventually, like, get around to reviewing them just to do a more comprehensive review, but No, probably still wouldn't play it. No, because I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to make the leap yet. I'm still stuck in 1999. Give me a break.
That's closer. You're getting there.
Well, yeah, I go as
Almost.
far as Dreamcast, and then I
You're in
stop.
last gen, technically. If you consider Dreamcast a last gen system, previous gen.
I considered that was sixth generation, so it's still like retro, I think. And no, still, it was Sega's last console. How could I leave it out? I feel bad that I've done like 26 of these fucking videos, and I've yet to do a Dreamcast review. I feel
Are
like
you going to talk about the console itself?
I'm debating that because I always kind of structure my reviews. If I'm going to review the system, I'd rather it have its own episode. But if I should end up doing the Evil Dead review first or the Resident Evil review first, I'll probably have to put like 2 or 3 minutes aside just to talk about the Dreamcast on its own because it's still an impressive piece of hardware. It did a lot of things first, and it did them well. The online gameplay, the controller, its memory unit, its interface, even it was great.
I have to disagree with the controller. I think it was a step down from Saturn.
Well, you can shut up, George.
Okay. I also hate the triggers. They're all squeaky after a while. They're like, wee.
Yeah, they do get squeaky.
The only thing I don't like about the Dreamcast controller is one, it's down to 4 buttons again on the face, not 6, which is a pain in the ass for some of the Capcom fighting titles in particular. And as I'm sure you saw in the Master System review, I wasn't happy about the D-pad being that fucking cross.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are the only things. I mean, if they had just kept the shape, if they had just left 6 fucking buttons on the face, if they had just given me my 8-directional pad as opposed to...
They just made the Knights controller into the Dreamcast controller?
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
Paint it white, make it a little smaller if you want, add a port for the VMU, fine. But that's really what they should have done, in my opinion. But... again, my opinion's up my ass, so what do I know?
Barry, quickly,
Yes.
which Saturn games would you want?
Oh, I said I wanted Panzer Dragoon Saga.
That's it? That's the only game?
Well,
What about Clockwork Knights, man? That game's magical as hell.
I think a Clockwork Knight like 1 and 2 collection would be fun. I'd also want to see.
You mean Toy Story from the
Oh,
Genesis?
you know what I'd want to
1 and
see?
2?
I'd want to see some of the AM2 fighting games like Fighters Megamix and because I mean with all the All-Star
Fighting Vipers, dude.
coming up, yeah, Fighting Vipers. Like
I'll
if they did a package where you got Virtua Fighter 2, Fighting Vipers, and Fighters Megamix, that would be pretty cool. That'd be
That would
nice.
sell a lot in Japan.
Yeah.
I want to
And
play
I mean-
Pac-Man.
Well, we could talk about AM2 now that we got the
Yeah, let's do that. The next and final topic tonight. Do you think AM2 releases too many Virtua Fighter games and that they are a shadow of their former selves? Is this yours, George?
Some guy commented, and I was like, I kind of want to talk about this in the podcast, so I added it.
So what's your opinion? Do you think they are or not?
I've been thinking about it throughout the whole podcast
Oh, wow.
with a killer intent. I think a lot of studios would seem to be, kind of a shadow of their former selves if you think about it, because when AM2 used to be in their heyday, it wasn't uncommon for a team to release 10 games a year.
Yeah.
Because they're so cheap and like there's just so many people you needed on staff. But now that games get more complicated, there's more risk behind them.
Yeah.
It seems that like AM2 hasn't really caught up, I guess. Like when we were younger and an AM2 game came out, everybody was hyped for it.
Yeah.
But now it's like Sega's like, yeah, we'll just keep it in the arcade. Like Border Break looks amazing, but we're never gonna play it. So
yeah, that's a good point.
To console gamers in America, they look at it and they're like, well, all they do is make Virtua Fighter. When it's not true, they do make arcade games, but they're arcade only.
Yeah.
Back in the day, all those arcade games came out on consoles too.
I mean, I think it's just the tech. Like, they can't afford to make as many games as they used to, so their output has slowed. But I think in terms of at least the Virtua Fighter games, I don't think I don't think they're becoming like a shadow of their former selves in that sense. Because I mean, the first one was 1993?
Yeah, the first
and
one.
we're on the fifth one in 2012. And I mean, you look at other series that had that kind of span, and they'd probably be at their like 10th or 15th iteration.
Street Fighter is on their fourth.
But Street Fighter has
I know.
re-released. Yeah.
Yeah, they have so many games that they release side things, and Virtua Fighter doesn't really have that. Besides the Saturn era, where Sega needed like every single Virtua Fighter game to sell Saturn units.
Yeah. I mean, what I love about the Virtua Fighter series is that like they started with this intention of just it's a fighting game. You're a virtual fighter. I think I've talked about this before, and then they just refined it with the second one, which was great. And then they tried some new things with the third one. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. Like the multi-tiered fighting, I didn't think they needed to do that. It felt too much like another fighting game. What Dead or Alive does that, right?
Dead or Alive does it.
Yeah, and then the fourth one I thought was excellent. Like it definitely they learned from their mistakes on the third, and they refined things even more. In the fifth one, it just feels like even another, huge improvement. So I mean, I don't think we've ever had a Virtua Fighter game that had a sequel within the same generation, except for maybe 1 and 2, but even then it was more kind of like the first one felt more like a 32X game, which it was for, than a Saturn game. You know what I mean?
What we do know is that uh, number 5 came out. Actually, I looked it up, and it was like
Mhm.
July 15th, 2006. So it's almost going to be 5 years.
Yeah, but they've done so many improvements to it since
Yeah, they've
then.
done
So
improvements, but like they haven't really like charged people for it. So it's like it's all arcade.
yeah,
Of course,
yeah,
keep it alive in the arcade, but I don't think that's bad. I think Capcom does it all the time. Nobody gives them crap. They just go out and buy their stuff.
yeah, right.
I don't know. I do hope that I do wish that they gave them funding to make like a big adventure game on next gen consoles. You know what I
What, like
mean?
Shenmue 3?
No. Well, yeah, of course I wish, but I wouldn't mind a new IP from them. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. I mean, the when I do play the fifth one, though, I have to wonder if that's the kind. Would they use that engine for a Shenmue 3? That graphics engine?
When it came out, I thought it would have been amazing, but now it's kind of like I'd rather just wait until Virtual Fighter 6 comes out.
Yeah.
But
So I mean, I don't think they released too many games, especially considering how many revisions the fifth game had, and we only have seen I think 3 of them released to uh, consoles. The first one was the PS3 version, and then the Xbox 360 was like the third revision, I think.
no, it wasn't even a revision. It was like just
Yeah.
a version. Like it was version C, and then one was like version B, and then
Oh,
they
that's
released Virtual Fighter R, and then they released Virtual Fighter Final Showdown.
yeah. So I mean, I give them credit for not releasing R because that would have sucked to be like you get R and then Final Showdown comes out a few years later.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Final Showdown. Supposed to be the definitive edition, I guess.
So that's cool. So I mean, I don't think they're a shadow of their former selves in that sense. I think they're doing a good job in releasing each successive title. And if this one is truly like the final one, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with the sixth game.
AJ is pretty quiet on the AM2 topic.
He's
Well,
fighting.
I've just been listening. I feel bad when I interrupt. So,
Oh, you go ahead. You
Good.
go ahead and tell us about how much you hate AM2.
actually, I don't hate AM2. However, it's great that they've been trying to, refine the series, Virtua Fighter, as well as producing new sequels. I don't want to see it die, but it would be great if they revived, like Virtua Racing as well as Virtua Cop. I would
Hmm.
like to see some of those because for me it was like the big three. You had Virtua Racing, Virtua Fighter, then Virtua Cop. I would like to see some new titles created. I mean, I think that'd be fantastic. Like when the Virtua Racing came out, if you played the big arcade unit, it really tried to make you feel as if you were in a race car. Like
Hmm.
it had these little balloons that would fill up for when you turned and all that kind of shit. It was the first person view mode was favored, so it really tried to recreate that experience. Not to mention, you could link up. I think it was like 8 or 6 of those arcade units together, so you could compete with others.
Yeah.
Um, with graphics looking the way they do now, that would be so much more appealing. I think. I mean, it would. I can only imagine the experience it would create. And since Sega, again, like with their consoles, they were always about bringing the arcade experience home. Well, let's see them really focus on the arcade once again and make arcades awesome.
Hmm.
Because they made arcades fucking awesome. I mean, when I was homeless and I would go into a fucking arcade and I saw a Virtua Fighter, I was excited. Or if I saw a Virtua Cop, I'd shit my pants. I was so happy. Because let me tell you, I wanted to shoot lots of people then. So Virtua Cop fulfilled that need and in a great way.
Well, there hasn't been a new Virtua Cop, but Ghost Squad got a sequel last year. So, I mean, another Virtua Cop isn't too far out of,
Isn't that kind of weird though?
possibility.
If you think about it, they ported over Ghost Squad, then they ported over like LA Machine Gun and all those light gun games,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then they just like skipped the Virtual Cop series like it
I
never
guess,
existed. It's so weird.
yeah,
Yeah, it is
wasn't
weird.
they made like Virtua Cop 3 and that I don't think that was ever ported to anything, was it?
Mm, I don't think so. I mean, the most recent one, like I'm talking about, is Operation Ghost, which is Ghost Squad 2, and that one hasn't been ported either.
Uh,
So, I don't
yeah.
know. I mean, given the House of the Dead titles coming out, it might hit PSN maybe next year when the PlayStation 3 is on its way out.
Yeah, I think so too. I think light gun games are kind of hard to market nowadays, but I think with the whole motion control craze,
Yeah.
there's a little market in it now that it
I
opens
think
up.
anyone who owns it are like, what the fuck am I going to do with my move? And then when they see that they can buy Sega arcade games on PSN, they go for it. Because, I mean, do you have a move?
I don't. I
I don't
don't.
George?
I don't either.
Uh, it's because I didn't really realize that you could use that shit as if it was a light gun. So
Uh-huh.
and also it's a bit more expensive. Again, I have to weigh shit when I buy new crap, you know?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that thing to drop for like to $10.
Oh, like the U-Draw tablet? Yeah.
Yes, like that.
Uh,
I got 3 of those. I'm awesome. They're awesome. They're awesome. Ahead of their time.
I can't wait to get mine.
I'm just joking.
We should give some away in a contest.
We should.
yeah,
Um,
but I will say this though about AM2, just to finish off that topic for me at least. I don't think they're a shadow of their former selves. I just wish that they would kind of revisit some of their classic franchises. I'm all game for new shit, but I would like to see, because I liked Virtua Racing. I love Virtua Cop, and I'd like to see those kind of revived. I mean, I want a Virtua Cop 4 Final Showdown, something like that. I want that game.
Yeah.
Virtua Racing Extreme, because they technically have Virtua Racing Deluxe on the 32X. I want Virtua Racing Extreme.
You
I'd
could
like
come.
then I would come. So
so when you come, do you just say justice shot?
only when it's a facial.
Only. All right. That's a justice shot. See, they say you could use that in their marketing, and people would buy it.
God. No, if they wanted to do something marketing wise, I would just want to be somebody that you shoot in the background and you get extra points.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, like when they shoot me and if they try shooting at me and they miss, I'd be like, "Oh, that was so 1999." If they miss, I go fuck yourself, cunt shit," something like that. And then when they kill me, I'm like, "Oh, you motherfucker! Oh God!"
That would work.
Yeah, I'd love that, but I'd have to be like downloadable content, and I would want to be free, you know. And also,
Sega would charge $5 anyway.
Yeah.
I'd have to be free. I would have to be a free piece of downloadable content. Add to that, they would have to have a feature where you can turn me off. So I know I drive crazy over time. It's like, oh, we need to turn that motherfucker off. I'm so tired. No, you know what? Leave them on. I want to shoot him now. So
That would work.
yeah.
Barry, anything you want to add
Yes.
about AM2?
AM2's awesome. I like them. That's all I gotta say
Oh,
about that.
That's all I got to say about
I think
that.
I just think that people comparing like, oh, AM2 used to release like 100 million games like back in the 80s.
Yeah, they had like 10 polygons in them, and it was just like the same 4 characters getting shot over and over. So you
Yeah,
can't expect them to release as many games they did then as they do now, considering.
there's been some AM2 games that have been missed.
Yeah,
I dare not talk about them right now.
I hear
I
that.
can't think. Actually, they have a lot more hits than miss.
Yeah, there was the Mummy one where it was like a rail shooter where you were like in Egypt. Did you hear about
Heard of
that?
it, man. I ignored that for my thoughts.
See, there you go.
That's all the topics this week. Anything you guys want to say?
No.
Okay, how about this? Sega Arcade in San Diego.
Oh yeah.
Those honeys and the Sega shirts and blue wigs. I want all of them. And I
all
want
of
the
them?
arcade.
You just want to go in there and buy them? You're like, can I buy all these women you have in this
Yeah,
shop?
I want to feel like Shenmue, where it's like 10 of these, please.
And then they just come out and you make that face. Oh,
Yeah.
You're drinking the soda.
Yeah, and and I want the arcade too. In fact, I want to move into the arcade, and I want that to be my Sega harem.
You live there. You live there. You like every day when the business opens, you have to go in the back.
Yeah. I just open it up, and I just have all my Sega bitches running the building. That'd be awesome. I'd have plenty of fans coming in there just to look at the girls and play video games. What more can you ask for? And you know what? When it goes after hours, no one under the age of 21 admitted. So you have to be a fucking adult. And when that happens, the Sega girls will come out with platters of fucking hard liquor just for you.
Wow, that's actually pretty nice.
I'll go.
Most people want to do world peace, not
No.
AJ.
World peace is bullshit. That's like perfection, which does not exist. As long as people exist on the planet, we will never know peace. Only the dead have seen the end of war, motherfucker. That's why I'm going for Pleasure Palace Sega.
I have to go with AJ on this one.
Yeah, I'll join you guys too.
What is your wife gonna say? Well, Sega women with wigs?
It's fine.
She'd be a little jealous, just a little bit. She'd be like, "Oh, well, why don't I get a wig?" And you're like,
No, we'll give her some Sega.
See what you guys did?
I'll get her a wig.
There you go. Everybody has wigs.
You guys will have special chambers.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah. See, George's room is going to be a little more difficult because I'm going to have to put your voice on a continuous loop so that you can get hard.
It's true.
And that way, when he comes, it will come at the exact moment Barry will say Sega, and that'll be.
It's just the Dreamcast boot up sound.
Yeah, why don't I go Sonic Team.
Gotta time it, man.
Yeah.
I'm
looking forward to this. All right. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next show.
Next show. It's good. All right.
Bye.
Special one that I've been waiting for, and I hope you're looking for someone like me.
In my dreams, I can hear you calling me in the night. Everything's so sweet in your eyes. I feel there's so much inside. To see you standing there. I'd rather be, but here with you. The stars above light the way only for you and I'm so glad I found the one I've been looking for.
Keep the dream of the one you're hoping for. Love can come through an open door. Just be strong, and you're sure to find the one, the one, the one, the one. Dream delight, I want to see you standing there in the night. Dream delight, I found someone who really cares. In the night, dream delight, I want to see you smile again. In the night, dream delight, you're the one I'm waiting for. Dream delight, I want to see you standing there. In the night, dream delight, I found someone who really cares. In the night, dream delight, I want to see you smile again. In the night, dream delight, you're the one I'm waiting for. The one, in the night, delight, you and me,
We could be together forever.
delight,
Baby,
baby.
baby.
In the night, delight.
I found someone.
I found my love in the night, delight.
You're the one I waited for.
I dream of you, girl.
Yeah.
How does your wife feel that instead of going to bed with her, you're up all night talking to strange men on the internet?
She's fine. I'm not doing